All right. Sorry for my tardiness. Dallas didn't let me go as fast as I thought it would.
Hello, meeting has started.
So I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. I don't have my phone exactly. At 4:37, I'll call the General Services Committee meeting to order. Could I get a roll call?
Councilor Foster,
Here.
Councilor Moore,
Here.
Councilor Best,
Here.
and Councilor Oropesa is absent. Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
All right, thanks. Could I get a motion?
Minutes at the same time, if that's okay with you.
That's fine with me.
Do I have a second? Oh, sorry, I'm doing your job.
Do we get a second? Yes.
Second.
All right, thanks, Ms. Moore. All in favor, signify, or any discussion?
Aye, no discussion.
All in favor, signify by aye. Aye. All opposed, same
Aye.
sign. It passes. All right, so we have one action item up, discussion and consideration of Resolution 21XX to adopt the 2020 Roswell Bicycle and Pedestrian Master Plan as a planning guide. All right, Mr. Nahar.
Mr. Chairman, Committee, good afternoon. Presenting before you, consideration of Resolution 21-XX. This to adopt the 2020 Roswell Bicycle and Pedestrian Master Plan as a guideline, not a policy, as a guideline.
All right.
So I think most of you remember that in April 2020, we completed the City of Roswell Bicycle and Pedestrian Master Plan. I have a copy of it with me right now. Nice reading if you have time. And I had to read it several times. But the idea of this is, I was contacted through members of Parks Commission and some of their auxiliary organizations. They're looking for funding. Well, when you put in an application for federal or state funding, you have to reference plans to get more points. We have finished the plan in 2020. We have not adopted it. So even adopting it as a guideline will still give them the ability to use it as a check mark in reference for project funding. Also, any other organization, Parks and Recreation or others can get ideas from here and adapt them and try to implement them through the plans. And I stand for any questions.
I'd like to make a comment.
All right.
So the other day, I had a gentleman come up to me, which used to be a previous staff member years ago, and he wants to donate to the basketball court, and we talked about this, Jim. So I want to tell the public that you can donate to anything at this time in the city. We have ways to get it to where you want to. If you want to donate to the snake out at the zoo, and that's all you want to donate to, you can do that. You just need to make sure it gets to the right place, and Jim can tell us about that in just a second, if you want to, because I guess we want to finish with this first, but
Yes.
I just want everybody to know, if you want to write a grant, if you're out there, you want to write a grant for the animal control, please go ahead, write it. We'll get you all the information that you need to get it done. We need help in Roswell to keep Roswell beautiful, lively, and festive. So that's my comment.
All right. Any questions, Ms. Moore?
No, is this, you said this, we did this plan when? Did he say this plan was in 2000 what?
April 2020. I don't know if you were
Is that the
present.
one
We
that
even
Mike-
had BHI
that the guy
presented at a city council meeting.
Okay.
There was a lot of meetings at the library over this too, and a lot of survey monkeys and all of that.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember a bunch of those, but I was thinking, I wasn't thinking, I don't remember the one I last looked at being that big, but maybe it's a different one. You know, we read quite a few of these.
And I can email it to any of the counselors. We have it as a PDF. The other thing I'd like to mention to Public Relations 1-800 group, this does refer to wayfinding and some of the bus stops, because we looked at two major destinations as part of the bicycle and pedestrian plan. One of them being, of course, Cielo Grande, and the other one being downtown Roswell.
Okay, I'm good, but I don't have any more questions.
All right, then let's go ahead and, do we want to see this on consent, or we want to talk?
I vote consent, so I'd like to make a motion that this go to full council on the consent agenda, the resolution 22-XX, to be adopted as a guideline.
I second the motion, since there's no money involved, there
All right.
won't be an issue, so I agree with the
With
consent.
one correction, it's 21, not 22.
Oh, excuse me.
We're not in,
We
I
started-
wish we were in 2022 already, but we're not there yet. But all right, so I have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. It passes 3-0.
Thank you,
All right.
committee.
Thank you, Mr. Nahar. All right, our non-action items that we have, a Facility Department Projects Update. Mr. Trentmore. Oh. Did we, anybody, sorry, but anybody here that wanted to speak on the bike? I'm sorry. If you wish to speak on the bike, come on up. I'm sorry.
No problem. Chair and committee, I'm Jane Ann Oldrup, and I'm Chair of the Parks and Rec Commission. And I just wanted to let you know that we approved this with no problems, you know. like, we can, change the things around. But we need it to be able to get the grants and, all this stuff. So, but we appreciate y'all. Thank you. But just as long as it goes to the city council now, we get it all done.
All right,
Okay?
we will. All
Thank
right,
you.
Thank you. No problem, no. I needed that correction.
Mr. Chair, committee members, wanted to bring to you today some updates on some facilities projects. Let's see here. The first one being Carpenter Park, some of the construction progress. I want to bring, some visual to some of the information that we provided. This is when we first broke ground. This is the rough end plumbing for all the features, and they're starting to set the forms here. Continue on. At the end of that big box in the back is a control panel, which controls the water to all the features, all the tubing going to the features. This was the completed pad before the features were installed, and then this past week, they've started to install the features, the benches, all the different things that we needed. I tried to pick colors that would go well in the park and then also wouldn't be too hot when sitting in the summer heat, so the children, can lean up against it and stuff. We don't have to worry about them getting burned or anything, so it should be good. So it's starting to come together. We're waiting on the emergency phone, the emergency shut-off, a few electrical items. We're probably about 90% complete.
Cool.
So we're hoping to have it fully completed by the end of April. And moving on to the police evidence storage, this is the old National Guard building on West 2nd, which was facility shop also at one time. Excuse the picture, this was the best older picture I could find. The building was wall-to-wall glass in the front and had translucent panel all the way around, so kind of like the fiberglass panel you see on some garden enclosures and stuff. So they went in and started to remove that, seal it all up with metal, excuse me, all the way around the building, and this kind of captures some of that work. Part of that phase was the roofing work. So the roof has three parts: the east side, the west side, and then the elevated section. This is the west side, and it's fully complete, and they've started on the east side. So we're about a third of the way done with the roof. The library build back. This picture depicts, this is one of the wet walls. This is one of 6 wet walls that were in those restrooms. You see there the PVC piping that all used to be cast iron, which was cracking and falling apart. And this is just kind of a small depiction of all that. So all the plumbing there is new, the supply lines, the drain and waste lines are all new. The insulation, it was never insulated before between the walls. That insulation there is for sound. We did find some surface mold and rust on a lot of the metal studs, which had to be pulled out and replaced. We just assumed while we were there, put new in there and not put anything old back in. This is another picture of it. Those are down at the bottom, those are the wall mounting brackets for the wall mounted toilets. And then the purple is the gypsum or the drywall, and the purple is a mold resistant drywall, so it'll help control that. If something was to get wet, it's prone to not to mold. This is another picture just kind of depicting some of the finished work and then some of the work still to be completed. On the right half of the picture, you can see they've made the repair to the drywall, which was all down low, and essentially went all the way around the children's area and into the, Enid would have to correct me, it went around to the magazine area of the library. The wall to the left has already been repaired. It goes all the way to the alley and been painted, and they're just continuing those repairs. Those part of the repairs are probably 90% complete. And that's all I have. I stand for any questions.
Any questions from the committee?
I have no questions, thank you.
If I may add one thing, I
Yes.
apologize. The library roof, the material has showed up on site. The roofer is ready to go. We're just waiting on the state permit.
Okay. All right. I do have a question on the Boys and Girls Club on the CDBG grant. About where are we on that?
On the total project,
On the total problem, and Lewis is here too, so.
Mr. Chairman, we're doing punch list, and we're still waiting for the leveling course and the gym floor to get below 5%. The final crew scheduled for Monday, come in and put the gym floor. We don't know if we're going to have the 5%, under 5% moisture, so they can put the final playing surface. Otherwise, it's a little too moist, and it won't grab right.
Right.
So that's where we're at. The punch list of the concrete flooring, the painting, and that kind of stuff is complete. So the two outstanding things that we have is the fire alarm, getting all that inspected into code and passed, and the gym floor.
Okay.
So hopefully, knock on wood, a couple of weeks out.
Do we know where I mean, I know the gym floor at one point was at 6.3% and it had to be under 5%.
It was at 5.7 last week.
Okay, so we
Of
got
course, I mean,
another-
we haven't had warm temperatures, and if you've been in that building, it's typically colder inside the
Than-
building than outside. And there is no sunshine.
All right. All right. Well, thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, so next we have Mr. Burris and a park inventory. This is kind of a general statement, but it was more of a thing. I wanted to just go over a few of the things that we have.
All right, Mr. Chair, I think you got a partial list of, go ahead. Go ahead, you go to the next slide. There it is, that's a partial list. I'll be emailing one that looks like this to everyone,
All right.
all right? And it has more of the items. Okay, what you have is the address. Looks like you have the address, what kind of play units there, and how many acres. We have an inventory that has everything. It has electricity, water, porta pots, horseshoe pits, backstops, volleyball courts, irrigation, dog stations, and restrooms. That's what's on our audit list. So I'll give you an idea how all the parks here in Roswell are set up, and I think that's kind of what we wanted to talk about.
And that is about what I wanted to talk about, and I wanted to eventually do it probably, I threw this at you only a week ago, so
That's
I
all right,
know.
it's not a problem. Rudy already had most of the information, so he does a good job.
All right, and I know that when we sat down with all the baseball team, or baseball leagues
Right.
and such, and we went over the sports complexes, we went over and talked, I mean, had a real in-depth on what we're looking at, and I know
Right.
I'm gonna be going around with Counselor Roebuck, and who's the chairman of infrastructure, and we wanted to personally look at each of these parks and look at what, some of the things. But I just wanted a short presentation on this, just to see where we are. I know we had the one thing from Mr. Nebb of the 680 acres or something.
Yeah, 675 acres. This does not include, Pioneer Plaza, City Hall, library, things like that. And
and-
680.
And at one point, I want to delineate between what is a park and what is a sports complex and what is
Sure.
well, we have at one point on the one that he had showed us. I don't know if it's on here. It was up on Delaware Street, where it was just an island in the middle of the road that we
Yeah.
have to take care of, and so that we can actually look at what parks is parks and sporting
Sure.
complexes are sporting complexes, and then, like you said, Pioneer Plaza. I know one of the things I talked to you about, it was on the other list that he had was, well, and it's on this one, Charlie's Park, which
Yeah.
is really just the maintenance shop for the park, but there is some mowing and there's some, you know,
That's actually down by the railroad tracks, behind the shop. We have to keep cleaned up so it doesn't catch fire.
Right.
Types of things. But this is everything they maintain, so.
All right. Any questions from the committee?
So I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Angela.
So you said you're going to email that list?
Sure, I'll send it to you. It's got everything on it.
And you said right now, then, are they color coded by park and sports complex or just fields or?
Yeah, it's
no.
coded, and what we did is, we tried to look at what a minimum park would be, so a play unit, barbecue grill, trash can table, backstop, trees, irrigation, dog, what you would expect in a regular park if you walked up to it. And we kind of highlighted that a little bit, but this has everything that's in every single park. So I'll send that to
I'd
you.
love to see that. I still need to go around with you.
I know, it's got the addresses, you just holler, and we'll throw you in the truck, or we'll call Rudy, and off we go.
Well, you gotta throw me? Man, that's
We'll get in the truck. We'll get in the truck, how about that?
Anyway, I think a golf cart, though. We can roll in a golf cart.
I think we did that once, but yeah, we'll get the scooters out, we'll go have some fun.
Okay, well, I'm excited to see that list. Been waiting for that for a little bit, so.
Okay, well, Rudy's done a good job putting it together, so he'll stand for questions too.
I'm good on this.
All right. All right, well, then, that's basically, I wanted us to start on this, and I really will get with our Parks Commission too, and we'll start looking, and, I mean, because I know we have 7th and Washington up there, and we have no play units in it. I know there's a little, whatever those
Gazebo, yeah.
gazebo there, and it's a green space, but truly, do we call it a park? But it's a green space, and I know we have to take care of it, and we have to have accountability for it. But when we start looking at our parks, I want to, and it is a place where kids could go play and kick a ball around or do something too, because it's not. But where are we providing parks for our kids and and our citizens, and so.
Sure.
And that's basically what I wanted to get started with this, so.
That'd be great. I'd like to sit down with you and kind of look at what we call a standard park and see what everybody has to think, and we'll go from there. We'll take care of it.
Sounds good. All right. Thank you.
All right. Rudy, good job.
All right. We do have several of our department heads here. Do you have questions for?
I don't have any questions. Since Jim has already sat down and he's already started on his phone, can you come back up and remember our conversation that we had on where to get money with Isaac, on how he wants to get money in here? If we can tell the public where to go.
Sure. I'm glad you brought that back up.
Yeah, because it gives the city being that they're helping, and they need to help.
It's true. We're all in this together. And, some of we did a park at Linda Vista. We asked everybody what they wanted, the ages of the kids, so we didn't waste our money putting, we want them to last for a while. As far as donation accounts, we've opened donation accounts for all our departments. Juan can tell you, whether it's a zoo or the carousel, a park, basketball court, whatever it is, you just, you can get online or call us. We'll let you have the account number, or you can just write on the bottom of your check in the memo, I want to help with the basketball court. Once we get that, that's where that money's going to go. It's not rolled into the normal budgets. It sits over here on the side, and that's what it's for.
And we need to ensure the public that money is not spent anywhere else
No, it
other
can't
than
be.
where you designate it. And that's a big
Absolutely.
thing, because the city folks kind of.
Can you
pull
move your
back.
mic?
Huh?
I can hear you, but I'm not sure everyone else. You want to move your mic?
Oh,
There.
me not loud enough, really?
And that's a hoot.
I just want to ensure all the citizens that if you designate it, let's say for the basketball court
Right.
on Riverside,
That's
it
right.
is going to go to the basketball court on Riverside. If the tennis players, we didn't get the money to refurbish the courts. If they want to go out and get a grant to get that refurbished. They can come to you, ask you what it's going to cost. You'll give them a cost. They can go and collect that money for that, and it'll go strictly for that.
Absolutely. If there's organizations out there that want to pick a cause, like you said, the tennis courts, that's about 211,000, I think, something like you're 411. I don't remember which number it was, but, help us get there. I mean, at least everybody knows that that's a need and the public wants it.
Yeah.
Whether it's the trails, trees, the zoo, anything. And you write that on the memo, on the check, and we keep an eye on that. We have
Yes.
donation accounts for everything, and
And we
off go.
didn't used to have that set up, but we have it
No.
set up now. We got our new system in, it's all
Yep.
set up. I don't think we've advertised it yet, have we, Miss Juanita? I don't mean to catch you off guard. But I know we did something with the zoo, because the Friends of the Zoo, but we don't have to have the Friends of the Zoo. You could be a regular
Right, anybody.
citizen.
Good afternoon, members of the Council for General Services. We are actually getting ready to launch at the end of April. It's on its final tweaks and drafts. We still have to submit it to administration for review, but it's an overall citywide sponsorship opportunity and a donation process. We actually spoke about it this morning in a budget meeting on how does the donation process work and what does that procedure look like. So we hope to have something rolled out not only for us internally, but also for the public, I would say by the end of April, for citywide activities, so that the public understands and also trusts the city that the donation that they're making is going to that entity for whatever cause that they're willing to support. The sponsorship will include naming rights of certain facilities or projects, or canopies, trees, benches, just a variety of different options throughout the city, not just for one specific entity.
Okay. The citizens also, I believe, have to realize if there is, let's say, amount of 200,000 and they only get us 50,000, it will sit in the account until we have the labor, the manpower, and the time to get it in. We're not going to put it in the general fund or anything else. We're going to use it strictly for what they say. It may take time to get there, though, because the whole cost is not going to get there.
Mr. Chair and Councilor Bass, that is correct. We do have a dedicated restricted fund, which is what all of these donations are deposited at and accounted for. So it doesn't go anywhere else but in that particular fund, and no other use other than what was dedicated for.
Okay, I guess I'm the cart before the horse at this point, so. But I had everybody's attention,
Yeah.
so there you go.
And
Thank you.
And I'll give you one example that we talked about this morning. So we had a marketing campaign to raise money for the elk exhibit. We have this new baby elk, Alexis. She's growing. We have to get her fence in because she keeps growing. We've been collecting and getting donations for a few months. We did an end of the year campaign to raise money to put that fence together. And so it's been sitting in the restricted zoo donation account specific to Alexis's exhibit. And now that we have the funding, we're going to now follow the process to get her the fence that she needs. Also included is other little items. So for example, if they give us a donation that says, I want this to go to guest services, that only goes to guest services or whatever it might be. And finance has helped us set up those accounts so that we ensure the money that the public is giving us is going directly to what they're asking us to use the money for.
Okay. I'm going to go a little bit farther. In the store downtown, we have items from the zoo, we have items from the museum, and they all have their own line that they go into, so that money goes back to each entity to help them reach their goal. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. I looked at
You
one.
almost made me scared there for a
I looked
minute.
at one because we're looking at the store overall and how that will look in the future, but at this time, yes, that is
Okay,
correct.
that's what I want to know. So if you go in and you buy something with the zebra on it, it's going to go to the zoo. And if you
Yes.
buy a postcard that has artwork on it, it's going to go to the art museum. And that way, that helps these folks hit their goal that we set last year. Was it last year? Last year for them. Okay, perfect. My mind is there.
Thank you. I appreciate you bringing it up.
Yeah.
You know, we
Sorry
can
I'm
never
ahead
say
of
that
myself.
enough, and we want the public's input, and we want their help. That way, we're on spot with what we need to do, so.
Correct. Thank
Right.
you.
All right,
Good.
thank you. Ms. Moore, do you have any questions?
No, I think she cleared that up pretty good. I like the line items and they know that, and it is imperative that, especially this year, that we have as much assistance with donating and volunteering as possible. And the idea and the fact that people know that if I say I want this to go to the little ugly green cat, then it's going to go to the ugly green cat. And so I think that's good. People like that idea because they think that, they always think the government and city, we're going to put the money, then we're going to go buy us a new car or something. They're not like send it where it's supposed to go. So it's good that y'all put that information out for them. So thank you guys for all your hard work.
All right, well, if we have no other, do we have any other public participation? I'm looking, I think we have all staff here right now, so if not, then I say we're adjourned, 5:04. All right, thanks.